dialogue lost loop.
When I wake up, my body is fully recovered. My temperature is normal and my limbs don't feel heavy at all. It's before 6 o'clock. I wonder if Sakura's awake. If she is, she'll probably be preparing breakfast. I'd better get ready quickly and head to the kitchen, or Sakura will finish it herself. I'm going ahead, Saber. Come to the living room in a bit. I don't have the guts to look inside her room, so I retreat after calling out to her. It'll be troublesome if I see Saber sleeping.
Yeah, okay.
Not Shiro.
Yeah. Like, well, there was a lot of talking, and we're like, did he just walk in and start talking? Okay. And my grandpa collapsed. He was like, I'm sick in bed, so don't you think you should settle down? Isn't that rude? He makes it sound like I'm a wandering cloud.
Fujine complains while eating. It seems Fujine didn't come over last night because her grandfather collapsed.
Senpai, what is this? Wandering cloud?
It's describing Fujine. It's an airy person without a definite character. I answer without hesitation.
You're wrong. A wandering cloud is an idler. It's what you call a person who does nothing but go around trying to mock people.
Sakura and Saber nod in comprehension. I don't even need to mention which part they agree on.
So, Sensei, is your father sick? Of course not. My family is famous for not getting sick. My grandpa Subro wrestled with one of the younger guys and hurt his hips. Sumo? What is this sumo, Taiga? Huh? It's kind of hard to explain in words. It's a type of martial art where you push instead of pull. Push and push. You can't use weapons and you can't use a fist. You also can't kick. You basically grapple with your opponent and win by knocking your opponent down to the ground. So it is a pure contest of power? Yep, and you don't wear any clothes. You and your opponent grapple pretty much naked. Naked? Yep, well, your weak point is covered by a mawashi. Oh, that's a sumo wrestler's loincloth, by the way. If you don't understand, ask Shiro about it. He knows more than I do.
Fujine says something absurd as she sips on her miso soup.
I see. So, Shiro, what is this loincloth?
It's easy to explain, but I'm a bit hesitant to talk about it. I'm talking to Saber, and we're eating right now. Why do I have to talk about loincloths during a meal? I don't know. Sumo's out of my area of expertise, so ask someone else.
You're lying. You have a loincloth too.
I don't. I had to do sumo because your grandfather made me, and I only borrowed one then. First of all, that happened years ago.
You're right. You kept losing because you were small back then. My Gramps told you to do a different sport because you wouldn't give up until you won, so he made you start archery.
Fujine is laughing cheerfully. Man, Fujine's in high spirits this morning, so she's louder than usual. Hey, Fujine, it's almost time. You'll be late unless you leave here before 7 o'clock.
Huh? Oh, it's fine today. Morning club activities are canceled starting today. Well, I still have to leave early because there's a teachers' meeting. Huh? The morning practice for the archery club is canceled as well? Yep. Oh, I see. You didn't hear about it, huh? There was an incident yesterday and some people in the track team got injured during practice. I guess it's because of lack of sleep, so morning practice will be canceled for a while. I see. But they canceled all the practices because of one injured person? Lack of sleep is that person's...
It's their own fault, unless... Fujine, how many people were injured?
It's between 10 and 20 students. Holy shit. That many? What about the people in the archery club? Well, nobody in our club got hurt, but a few people looked tired yesterday. It's been dangerous recently, right? We can't just ignore the mental strain it might be causing, so I guess the school is trying to decrease the burden. I don't know about the clubs being a mental burden, but it's true that they physically tire you.
Fujine shrugs and holds out her bowl.
Can I have another bowl, Sakura-chan? I just want it half full. Of course. You're not eating a lot this morning, Sensei. Yeah, my stomach is hurting because I know there's a lot of work waiting for me at school, so I don't have any appetite.
Fujine pretends to cry. It seems the tiger at my house wants us to believe that 2.5 bowls of rice isn't her normal serving.
You're full of energy in contrast, Sakura-chan. You're on your second full bowl. I'm still growing. I get hungry quickly, so I have to push myself and eat extra.
Incoming poop joke.
For sure.
Sakura puffs up with pride. Well, I don't know about that being part of the growing thing, but maybe all the gluttons around her are influencing her. I don't know.
I see. Sakura does not have sufficient strength as an archer. It is good to take in extra energy.
Saber nods as she keeps eating. Is it just me, or is she missing the original topic?
She's contributing on the one part she can contribute on.
It's past 7 o'clock. Fujine left for school, and we're cleaning now. Sakura has time as well, so we relax and do the dishes. With the two of us, it doesn't take long. I was keeping an eye on Sakura because of her health, but she really seems okay now. It looks like her fever's gone and she's full of energy.
Senpai, I have something to tell you, so could you spare me some time?
Then Sakura stammers a question, looking as nervous as if she were breaking into somebody's house.
That's an analogy.
Sure, we still have time.
Okay, well, I made, some lunch for you.
She looks down as she hands me a lunchbox. It's not my usual lunchbox, and it seems Sakura prepared it for me. It has a cute shape, and it's wrapped in vivid colors. The taste is guaranteed if Sakura made it, and I appreciate the fact that someone made lunch for me. Thanks. Wait, did you wake up early to make me lunch? Sakura was done with cooking breakfast when I came to the living room this morning. I admired how early she got up, but it seems she actually woke up earlier than I thought.
Oh, yes, I woke up early, and I didn't have anything to do, so I thought I'd make lunch, and I want to ask you about something.
Why are you all formal? Do you need to consult me about something important?
No, it's nothing big. It's not, but, oh yes, so, Senpai, you don't make lunch that often. You like cooking, so I'm wondering why.
Sakura, it's not like I like to cook. I don't know about a guy's hobby being cooking, so I wish she'd keep it as something I can do. Oh, wait, we're talking about why I don't make my own lunch. Well, I know it's cheaper to make my own lunch, but the guys in my class crowd around it if I do make it. Half my lunch is taken away before I know it.
Oh.
Sakura nods in satisfaction. To be accurate, it's the girls that take most of my lunch, but I don't say it because it's too pathetic. Yeah, so I only make lunch when I can use the student council room. Then I can eat alone with Issei.
Senpai, how about eating at the archery range in that case? It's open during lunchtime. I can make you some tea, and it's quiet there.
Oh, that's a good idea. The archery range isn't locked, and the club members rarely go there during lunchtime. Mitsuzuri might be there, but she's not so cruel as to eat someone else's lunch. Yeah, you're right. That's a good idea.
Yes! It is a good idea.
Oh. But I don't know about an outsider going in there. I guess we have to ask Mitsuzuri for permission.
It's alright, the archery range is part of the school, so any student should be able to use it when the archery club isn't using it.
Sakura presses her point. You're right. I guess it's fine if I'm not causing anyone trouble. I nod to myself. Then, I don't know why, but Sakura's making a victory pose with a big smile. Maybe some of Fujine's energy transferred to Sakura.
For being as horny as you are an absolute idiot.
Oh, absolutely. We walk up the hill. There are more students around us than usual. It must be because there's no morning practice today. We still have time. It's been a while since we had a morning where we could take it easy. Sakura's walking happily beside me. I don't know why, but she's in a good mood.
Okay, you're the first one.
Okay. This is normal for me, but I guess it has been a while since I went to school with you.
Yes, the archery club practices every morning.
But participation isn't required, right? Most people only go once every 2 days, so you should skip once in a while.
Whoa. What? Would you walk to school with me if I skipped practice?
Of course. We're going to the same place. We'll be walking together either way.
Oh, then... No, I can't do that. I'm not that good, so I can't afford to skip a day of practice.
Sakura sticks her tongue out at herself. Are you sure about that? Not to speak ill of anyone, but you're the best in your grade. You have great form, so I don't think there'll be any trouble, even if you skip a day or two.
No, I'm still inexperienced. My thoughts trail off if I let my guard down, and I often don't see the target. I'm lazy at heart, so I tend to slack off unless I push myself to train a little every day.
If that's how she feels, who am I to disagree?
Yeah, who are you?
I part with Sakura. My class is on the 3rd floor, and hers is on the 4th.
I'll see you later, senpai.
Yeah, don't fall asleep during class. People tend to get sleepy when they're full.
You don't need to worry. I'm not full anymore. Burn all those carbs walking.
Sakura goes up the stairs. I guess. I wave goodbye to her and head to my classroom.
Dude, if I ate 2 bowls of rice in the morning and then had to walk to school, I would absolutely take a nap. Good night to me.
I mean, they're probably like rice bowls. I don't think they're like they're like side bowls. I don't think it's like a whole fucking
They're
bowl.
not like a real bowl. Yeah, I'm thinking about
Yeah.
American bowls. Like, bro.
Yeah, I think it's the little side bowls you get like when you get rice with the meal. It's lunchtime. Shinji's absent, so is Issei. It seems Issei is being treated at the hospital after the incident at Ryoto Temple. Now that I look around, I see there are more people absent. But the number of absentees shouldn't get any higher, at least. The servant that was sucking the life force out of people in this town has been eliminated. There should be no more unexplained comas. Yeah, the people Caster harmed will get well and come back soon. I pull myself together. There are 4 masters remaining. 2 if you don't count Tosca and Ilya. I can't let my guard down until I know what kind of people they are.
Oh.
Oh. We speak out in unison. I was like, it's double quoted. That's probably both of us, and I just did not think to actually speak the words.
You're like, we both said oh.
I bump into Tosca the instant I go out into the hallway.
Hey, what do you mean oh? Isn't that a rude thing to say? Or do you have a guilty conscience?
Hey, the same goes for you. You were surprised too. And what was up with the phone call last night? You were being selfish, telling me not to come and to come.
Well, yesterday was an exception. You skipped school the day after the master at Ryoto Temple disappeared. Of course I thought something happened to you. I told you about...
Oh, sorry.
I told you about the Ryoto Temple, so it's troubled me if something happened to you.
I'm surprised. Did Tosca feel responsible because she told me about it? I see. Thanks, Tosca. You were worried about me, right?
That's not true. I just want to know the details of what happened since I gave you the information.
Huh? But I told you over the phone yesterday, right? Both Caster and her master are defeated. There's nothing at the Ryoto Temple anymore. Huh? Tosca looks serious all of a sudden. What's wrong, Tosca? Did I say something weird?
Yes, you did. It's not that I don't trust you, but let me confirm. You're absolutely certain that you defeated Caster.
Huh. Even I could tell that. Saber completely eliminated Caster. Caster's master is... He was already dead when we got there.
Alright, there's something I want to talk about regarding that. Can you come to the rooftop?
What? Caster hasn't disappeared?
Correct. You defeated Caster 2 days ago, right? But the coma incidents happened again yesterday. The people who had their magical energy sucked out yesterday are in a worse coma than before.
No way. We definitely...
I know, you wouldn't lie, and I don't think you made a misunderstanding, but Archer and I saw a shadow that looked like Caster when we went to the scene of the crime yesterday.
I see. Then Caster's still alive and collecting magical energy from all over town?
I'm not certain, but it seems so. But I can tell that the atmosphere of the Ryoto Temple has changed. You two defeated Caster, but she still exists. That's all I'm sure of right now.
This explains why she feels different from yesterday. Tosca's probably getting doubts about this war. A servant disappears if its master is defeated. A servant can't avoid death in this world if it's completely defeated. But Caster still exists, in spite of taking both these penalties. It's a violation that completely overthrows the fundamentals of the Holy Grail War. I see. So what do you think?
Huh? Me?
Yeah, you think it's strange, right? I don't think you'll forfeit from the Holy Grail War, but don't you want to clear up this thing about Caster before you start fighting for the Holy Grail? You want to put off fighting other masters until after that, right?
You're right. This Holy Grail War is suspicious. It seems different from the one I heard about from my dad. I think there's something different going on where we can't see it.
Different, huh? I don't have the liberty to think about such a thing, because the Holy Grail War itself is beyond me. But if a legitimate master like Tosca feels that way, it must be true. Then, Tosca...
Yes, I won't follow the rules of the Holy Grail War until I'm convinced. It can't be helped if I'm being used, but I don't like not knowing the harm that I may be imposing on others. You don't like such a thing, right? So I'm not going to be fighting other masters until I get this cleared up.
She declares her stance. Tosca's eyes show her determination, and it seems to be asking for my stance. I see. Can I take that as a truce offer?
If you would accept it. If you won't fight me until this case is settled, I won't hurt you either.
Tosca asks me silently with her eyes. She doesn't even need to ask. That's my line. I won't fight you as long as you don't come attacking me. And even if there comes a time when we do fight, it'll be fair and square. Until then, I want to cooperate with Tosuka.
Then it's decided. I expected you to agree, but I'm glad to hear it all the same.
Huh? Tosuka holds out her right hand. I realize that she's wanting to shake hands, and... yeah, please give me your best regards. I try to suppress my face from turning red as I shake her hand.
Alright, our contract is set. Please give me your best regards too, Emiya-kun.
Tosuka firmly shakes my hand. Her hand is soft, much more delicate than mine.
Oh, you love to see it.
I'm an idiot! What the hell am I thinking at a time like this?
What's wrong, Emiya-kun? You're sweating all of a sudden. It seems your heart's beating fast, too.
No, it's nothing. I just have a cold. I'll get well if I eat. I'll get better if I eat, so let's eat lunch. I quickly let go of Tosuka's hand. Then... Tosuka's expression turns wicked.
Oh, I suspected it when we last met, but it looks like my hunch was correct. You seem like you had some experience, but you actually don't, huh? It's surprising, or should I say it's just as I expected. I see.
He said virgin. Tosuka Rin stares at me from head to toe. What? Come out and say it if you want to say something. It's not good to stay quiet.
God, I can't believe there's a route that exists where we don't pick Rin.
I know. There's two of them.
Nothing. Don't worry. It's just that I figured out a bit more about you. Oh, I won't say it, so you don't have to be frightened.
I'm not frightened. Go ahead and say it if you want to.
Oh, can I?
She grins. Man, how can such an evil smile exist in this world? Don't say it.
What? I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. Please don't mention it. I think it'll be shocking if I hear it. I think I'll suffer more damage if I hear it from you.
Really? Then I guess I won't say it.
Tosuka withdraws with an expression of victory. In the instant I regain my peace of mind.
You're the type that gets hot and bothered over the recorder of the girl you like, right?
Hey, you said it, you devil! I miss recorders.
So I think people get mad when they're told the truth.
Tosuka ponders as she eats my lunch. She came to the rooftop empty-handed. Which, of course, meant that she didn't have her lunch. Then it was only natural for her to target mine. Just eat. Man, why do you have chopsticks when you don't have your own lunch? Do you always carry them around?
She's got fucking chopsticks in her back pocket. Oh, I just brought these with me when I left my classroom. You had your lunch last time, so I thought I'd have you share some of yours. I came prepared just in case you had box lunch.
Hey now, I think you're putting thought into the wrong areas. Bring some food before you bring chopsticks.
Don't worry about minor details. You brought 2 people's worth of food, so it turned out fine.
No, this isn't 2 people's worth of food. It's just that Sakura made too much. Oh well, it's true that I won't be able to finish it by myself. Oh, don't just eat the vegetables, eat some meat as well. I'll get an upset stomach if I just eat meat.
What? I don't want it because that's too sweet. Don't tell a girl to eat meat. I'm keeping track of how much I've eaten, so I'm not eating it. That's a sign I've had my share.
Liar. I bet you're the type that doesn't hold back when you go eat yakiniku. I'm sure of it. You'll be scarfing down beef ribs while I'll be munching on my salted fish. You won't show any consideration for my money. In fact, you'll try to bankrupt me, and after you're satisfied, you're going to tell me, I went easy this time. I try to get back at her for what she said earlier.
Well said, Emiya-kun. I find it scary that I can't deny that.
No. You're the scary one, Tosuka.
But this lunch sure is strange. There's a lot of food here, but the wrapping and all is really feminine. Do you like to cook, Emiya-kun?
What a coincidence. I think I heard the exact same thing this morning. Well, it's not like I hate cooking, but Sakura made today's lunch. Oh, Sakura's... Tosuka? What's wrong? Did you bite in a lump of sugar?
Oh geez, I did it.
Tosuka sighs and puts away her chopsticks.
Thanks. You can eat the rest by yourself.
Tosuka gets away awkwardly. Well, it's fine if she's full already. I was nervous eating lunch next to Tosuka, and now I can enjoy a little peace of mind. I head back to my classroom. It's a few minutes before 5th period starts, and the hallway's filled with students going back to their classrooms.
Minerva, are you okay? I hear you.
In contrast, the stairs are quiet and empty. Not many students go to a different floor to eat. There.
Ah!
I bump into Sakura. She looks away awkwardly as soon as she sees us. Damn, we went and ate her lunch with Rin after saying we were going to eat in the archery room.
Ooh, I forgot about it too! God, it's only like 20 minutes for us!
What could be wrong with her? She was so energetic this morning, but she looks depressed now. Sakura.
She is... This is a spoiler, I can't make this joke. I'll make it later.
Call out to her. I think I get what you're going for. But before I can say anything else...
I'm sorry, Sakura. It was bad timing on my part.
Tosuka steps forward.
No, you didn't do anything wrong. Even if Senpai and Tosuka-senpai are together, it has nothing to do with... You're misunderstanding. I went and invited him because I had to talk to him about something, and he didn't skip out on you either. He just didn't realize it.
What do you mean? It's not like I made a promise with Sakura.
You idiot, she made lunch for you, so that means she wanted to eat with you. It's natural for Sakura to be mad.
What? Hold on. We never made any promise to eat together. Subtext? What's that?
Senpai, how about eating at the archery range in that case? The range is open during lunchtime. I can make you some tea and it's quiet there.
And when I look, I see that Sakura's lunch is untouched. That's right. Ashura really is the biggest idiot.
Mm-hmm.
What was I thinking? Tosuka's absolutely right to call me an idiot. I'm sorry, Sakura. I'm so stupid.
No, it's fine. See, it's not like we made a promise, and I just thought it might be good if we could eat together.
It's not good. Let's go, Sakura. We'll still make it. We can eat quickly in the archery range, and... I grab Sakura's hand and start running. But
There's no way you'll make it. What can you do in 3 minutes? Oh no!
We'll still make it. Go fast. Tosca's calm analysis stops me. I panicked because I felt guilty for breaking the promise, but Tosca's 100% right.
It's fine, Senpai. We have to go back to our classrooms, just like Tosca Senpai says.
Ugh, but Sakura.
Please don't worry too much about it. That was enough for me. Thank you.
I don't know what to say when she makes a face like that.
Then I'll be going. You two will be late if you don't hurry.
Sakura goes up the stairs with her lunch in her hand.
I'd better be going too. Go to the Chinese restaurant in the shopping district after school. Wait there, okay?
Then Tosca leaves a strange message before she leaves for her classroom. Shiro's just a dumb teenager and a little oblivious to people's intentions.
Look, he went from like pure horny to pure stupid. I don't know how much more of a teenage boy we can be.
I think the pure stupid was there the whole time.
That's true. We did get exponentially hornier this route, but I think we've been this dumb in the beginning of every route.
I think you can be dumb and horny at the same time. We just sometimes aren't horny.
No, we really cranked on the horny this route, but we were like at the normal level of early dumb Shiro, and then he finally learned stuff.
Right.
But thankfully we have Rin who tried to save us from our mistake when she was, oh, it was my fault he missed out on lunch, and then we had to open our stupid mouth.
No, it isn't. I didn't have a lunch to go to. Nah.
Whatever do you mean?
Fifth period ends and the room empties out quickly. It's not even 2 o'clock yet. Oh, I don't feel like it, but Tosca told me to. There's nothing I can do here, so I guess I'll go to the shopping district. There's only one Chinese restaurant in the shopping district. Oh, Shuen Saikon, Taizan.
I didn't know what was happening because you just paused.
I had to take a second to read.
You're like, I can do this.
Probably didn't pronounce it super correctly, but it's close enough.
Oh, you did great.
It's an ominous dungeon in the shopping district with no windows to show you what's inside. Most first-time customers run away after seeing the place.
Sounds exactly like the kind of Chinese restaurant I want to go to.
You know that's the good shit.
God, it's gonna be so good.
The manager, a favorite of the neighborhood association, is a strange little Chinese man nicknamed Small Manager. Batsu-san has a tendency to fill every dish with red pepper. In other words, the food's hot.
Oh, it's gonna be good and give me diarrhea. Thank God.
Oh, fuck. Really hot. Imagine being stabbed in the tongue and then having salt rubbed into it, and you'll be on the right track. This restaurant's infernal seasonings have given me a general distaste for Chinese food.
Isn't Chinese food Rin's favorite?
I think so. It doesn't help the manager keeps adding aru at the end of every sentence. And now I'm entering this terrible dungeon willingly. The manager will bring a menu as soon as he sees me. That'll be the end of it. At the very least, I'll have to order something that uses sweet vinegar. It'll turn out horrible if I order something like twice cooked pork, and Mapo tofu is out of the question. That stuff is dangerous. It'll melt my tongue. I hear the judge of hell pulls out your tongue, so such awful food could easily come from there. The manager traveled abroad to train his cooking art, so maybe he trained with the devils. Oof, it's almost 2:30. I promised to be here right after school, so I can't hesitate any longer. Alright, I'm going. I don't know why I have to get pumped up to go into a restaurant, but here it's necessary. I'm not sure what Tosca was thinking when she said we should meet here, but I'm sure she's regretting it now. Wait.
Voice in transition. I loved everything about it.
Fucking spoon it. The zoom in on the spoon.
God,
the spoon in on the zoom.
God, the spoon in? You're finally here, Emiya? I came early, so I have already started eating.
The priest is eating mapo tofu. That's how you know he's hard. I'm speechless. Why is Kotomine here? Why is he eating mapo tofu that looks like a boiling pot? And why is he eating it so fast? Those are the sounds of the spoon hitting the bowl in the background.
He's fucking great!
He's sweating, but he never stops for a drink, spiritedly moving his hands as if they'll never move again if he stops. Actually, is he just being stubborn? He's eating it way too fast. Or is it that good? It looks as if the spicy oil and red pepper were cooked together for 100 years just to be used in that dish. Then this is bad. This restaurant and Kotomine are both bad. That food has dangerous amounts of spice. It can't be explained any other way.
She was like, get me the fuck out. What's wrong? Don't just keep standing and sit down.
The priest talks as he keeps eating. Yeah, I'm like really hungry for Chinese food now, which feels fucked up.
I know this is not Chinese food, but I'm so glad I had sushi before I came here, so I'm like halfway there.
In the right hemisphere.
Yeah. I set the right tone for today.
I take caution as I sit across from him. Well, I'm not too sure what I'm on guard against. What does that spoon say on it?
King? K-I-N? Dash
I assume the sauce is covering a letter, but... Huh. Maybe it's like an Easter egg that I don't recognize. I watch his movements. Amazing. He only has about 2 more mouthfuls left. I watch in amazement when Kotomine suddenly stops eating. Our eyes meet. Kotomine watches me with his usual oppressive eyes and...
Do you want some?
I don't want any! I reply with all my might. What a terrible interaction. The priest frowns a bit before he finishes the mapo tofu.
Why are we so weird?
Huh? Did my reply disappoint him? We are like on guard with him generally. He did go to war against our dad.
That is true.
Alright, Digimat, look. I couldn't see the with all my might before I read it. I don't need this.
Yeah, we always find out after the fact how we were supposed to say a sentence, and then we go, oh. Well, I made it awkward.
The only one waiting for me is Kotomine. It seems he asked Tosca to invite me here. So, what do you want? Isn't it unusual for you to come talk to someone?
Well, I'd heard that you'd already defeated 2 servants. I came to commend you on your achievements.
He's lying. Even if it's true, he should have picked a better restaurant. I see. I'm sorry, but I think your words are good enough. I'm not fighting for your sake. There's no reason for you to praise me.
I guess there was no need for banal flattery. Then let me cut to the chase. You heard from Rin that Castor is still alive, correct?
Yeah, Castor still exists, and she's collecting magical energy from people in town, right?
Yes, I do not know if it is related, but there was another servant at the Realta temple on the night you defeated Castor. I believe it to be assassin, judging by the appearance and combat style, but I am not certain.
Assassin? That assassin was also at the Rito Temple? But Saber said...
She did not sense him, right? Assassin is not a strong heroic spirit, but their class has the special ability to conceal its presence. Covert action is their area of expertise. Even Saber should not be able to sense Assassin if he hides his presence.
Then that means Assassin was at the Rito Temple on the night we defeated Castor. Was he hiding near us, trying to find an opening to attack? I understand, but why are you telling me all this? I thought the supervisor doesn't help one particular master.
I am merely sharing information with you. I have told you all I know. In exchange, tell me what you have experienced over the last few days. There is something strange about this Holy Grail War. Something is different from the last war. If you do not wish to tell me, I will not force you. Just take my words as a warning.
No, I'll pay your price. After all, you came out and gave me information that I needed.
You have a strong sense of duty as always, Emiya Shiro.
The priest smiles in satisfaction. It seems he knows every move I'm going to make. But I'm not going to fall for his tricks that easily. I'll talk, but first, I have a question. How do you know such a thing? You wouldn't know that Assassin was at the Rito Temple unless you had a servant. No, he shouldn't know even if he does have a servant. Neither Saber nor Archer, Tosca's servant, could tell.
It is simple. My Lancer was defeated by Assassin at the temple. As his master, I needed only retrieve his last sight.
Then, no secrets in this route.
None?
The priest simply states something absurd.
Wait. Okay, so we had a sidebar about who Lancer's master was. Is he... Now I'm confused.
It's always been Kirei. Well, always since, like, the start of the Fate story.
I see.
It's only... Like, the Hollow Ataraxia thing is a different master, but that's...
That's its own thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not relevant to the story.
I see.
What?
I said that I am also a master. You said it too, that I would not know unless I had a servant. Well, you are certainly correct.
Huh? What?
That ended last night. Lancer has been eliminated, which means that I am not a master. I am no longer your enemy. Well, is that all you want? Is that all you want to ask me? Then it is your turn to talk. Tell me who you met and what you saw over the past couple of days.
The atmosphere becomes heavy in an instant. He doesn't allow me any questions. He wants answers. I have a lot of things I want to ask him, but I have to answer him first. In as much detail as possible, I recount what happened to me after making my contract with Saber 4 days ago. The story lasts for about 30 minutes. I haven't done much as a master. The information I provided is mostly useless. But the priest takes great interest in Mato Zoken.
Mato Zoken. I thought he had withered away, but he is still active? I guess it is true that he is a blood-sucking monster.
Huh? That old man's a blood-sucking monster?
Yes, the magic of the Mato family is absorption. I hear that Mato Zoken, a magus from 6 generations back, was a prominent bug user.
That's a lot of generations.
He's so old.
Using bugs. That doesn't mean his familiar is a bug, right? Or another way to use bugs is... Hold on. By bug user, do you mean like guys who use bugs as a medium for poison? Like putting in hundreds of poisonous bugs in a pot and using the last surviving one as a curse?
No, that is wrong. From the start, cursing is outside of Makiri's area of expertise. The results of their magic always return to their bodies. Cursing others would only result in mutual destruction.
And he's using bugs as familiars?
Yes, Zoken is merely a monster who feeds on the blood of others. I hear that he kept his youth by transfiguring his body and sucking blood, and that he has lived for a few hundred years, but based on what I heard from Rin's father, he is now on the verge of death and can no longer walk in broad daylight.
He can't walk in broad daylight? Well, I did meet him both times at night. He sucks on people's blood to prolong his life. He's a vampire.
That's exactly what he is.
And he can't walk under the light of the sun. That's just like... Kodamine, is Zoken a vampire?
He is more like a parasitic insect. His nature and personality are like those of an insidious slug.
He insults Zoken. It seems Kodamine really hates that old man. You said he's been alive for a few hundred years. Then was he ever a master?
No, Zoken was never a master. He is like a counselor for the Mito family, but he is a monster that lived for hundreds of years. He might have devised a plan to become a master in a way we do not know of.
And the one who made a contract with Castor after her master was killed is...
Who knows, but he is not someone you can let your guard down against. If he has taken the stage, he must believe his victory is certain. That means that the Mito family's master has the support of the worst devil in Makiri history.
Shinji said he hasn't given up. And he has the backing of Zoken. He lost his command spell, but that old man might be able to give him a new servant.
You've been a great help. All of these abnormalities make sense if the Makiri Elder is in action. As the war's supervisor, I shall try to suppress the damage.
Kodamine nods to himself and relaxes. Supervisor, huh? You're not one to talk when you were secretly a master until yesterday.
Do not put it like that. I have no wish. I obtained Lancer because I wanted to give the Holy Grail to a more appropriate desirer. But that is over now. It is for the remaining masters to decide. Well, personally, I would like either you or Rin to obtain the Holy Grail.
I frown. The priest is serious. He just said that he doesn't need the Holy Grail. In fact, he clearly told me that he wants either Rin or I to obtain it. Why? You became a master because you want the Holy Grail, right? Don't you have a wish you want granted?
Let's see. I do not have a wish, but I do have a goal. My goal is not a serious matter, and it is meaningless even if I achieve it myself.
A goal that's meaningless if he achieves it himself? What are you talking about? If you want to tell riddles, find somebody else.
Consider it a friendly warning. We are the same, you and I. As we do not have clear wishes, we cannot seek salvation. I simply thought it would be easier for you if you quickly realized it.
What? I feel like he's grabbed my heart in his hand. No, that's Gilgamesh's thing.
Too soon.
The priest's words seep into my mind like a curse. Kodamine, you... I constrict my wavering eyes and glare at him. And then...
Who gets to be the Chinese man?
Batu-san for one line, probably.
Batu-san for one line?
Here's your Mapo Tofu, Aru. The second and third plates of Mapo Tofu were placed on the table.
This man is psychotic.
That transition. Kotamine picks up his spoon. I'm sure of it. He ordered more servings beforehand. Our eyes meet. Kotamine stares at me with oppressive eyes and...
Do you want some?
No! I answer him with a straight face. Going at it again. I think his spoon says King G, like King Gilgamesh. That's my guess.
Oh.
What?
Sorry.
I leave Ensaikon Taizan. It's because Kotamina had no intention of talking anymore and started eating the Mapo tofu. As I leave the restaurant with a heartburn.
Hemiya, I have withdrawn from the war, but you and Rin are still masters. Zoken is insidious, so be careful.
The priest warns me, as if it's someone else's problem.
I had that problem where I was reading it, and then I was like, yeah, we're moving on now.
Just like opened a new scene, then just went to the next one. I didn't say anything. It was like,
Sometimes I get caught up in the dialogue. I'm like, yeah, we left and we did some other stuff. Okay.
Now time for the worst room in the story. Wind enters the damp room. From the open door come two sets of footsteps. One kicks the ground in a hurry, and the other is being dragged in. Oh no.
Is this Mr. Zoken?
I don't think so, but...
Oh, we think this is the shitter?
Mm-hmm.
Come on, get started.
Thump. A heavy sound echoes through the room. It's the sound of Mato Shinji, the one who came to this room in a hurry, throwing in the person he brought with him. The floor of the secret room is wriggling around. I'm going to hate this scene. Their worms must be active right now, as leech-like insects are writhing all over the floor. Mato Shinji knows what these worms are. These are lust worms that his grandfather, Mato Zoken, raises that love human blood, semen, and marrow. Once swarmed by these lust worms, men will have their spine crushed, brains sucked, and will be made into a cripple. The worms will transform when attacking women, so they're only able to violate her nerves. They will spread their tentacles all over her body and devour her spirit. I sure hate this. The lust worms will wet the woman's skin with their mucus, excite and destroy her central nerves of pleasure, and satisfy their hunger. I believe this is the censored version. It must be their instincts, as the worms seem to love the woman's womb. They do not eat female flesh, but seek the organs within them. I'm gonna skip that.
This is... Oh, no. This is just because it grosses you out to read this? I got it, don't worry, man. They give the woman huge enough orgasms to fry her brain, and they go into her body to devour her placenta. Which you can only have when you're pregnant, but, you know, I guess it's fine. Unwilling to eat human flesh, the worms have only one way to get what they desire. As a result, the woman's mind and body are completely violated and destroyed. The name lustworm must come from such characteristics. Mato Shinji throws the person he dragged here into the pool of such worms. I figured we were in fine territory after that.
Yeah, probably.
Get started.
He talks from the top of the stairs. Nobody, man or woman, can survive after being thrown into a swarm of lust worms. But this person's an exception. The worms slither away from the person. Are they scared or have they lost interest? The worms do not approach the figure. They merely reflect the light around the figure with their mucus.
Make me a new book. You still have 2 more left, right?
The only reply comes from the worms. The darkness undulates as if liking the order.
You can go back if you do as I say. That's what you want to do, right?
There's no reply. The only sound in the room is the annoying cry of the worms.
Look, fighting is the only way. If you oppose me anymore...
Mato Shinji threatens to reveal everything. The person on the floor trembles. That is not allowed. The old man whom Mato Shinji calls master will not allow it. But this person knows Shinji's not the type to follow his master's orders. He's frantic right now. Anyone that gets in his way is his enemy. The old man forced him away from battle out of concern for his life, but the concern itself is an unforgivable insult to him. A change occurs after a long silence. A figure appears in a flash of light. The worms flee to the corners of the room like an ebbing tide. Even the worms understand how powerful the materialized woman is.
About time.
Long hair and a slender, tall figure. The one clothed all in black is the servant called Ryder.
Wait a second.
Is this Ryder talking? Okay.
Yeah.
That was Ryder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck,
Your
where's my
sexy Ryder voice? Don't you remember?
Is it just the caster voice?
I believe it was just the caster voice.
Let me confirm again, Shinji. You are using me solely for your protection, correct? The black servant asks. She's looking up from the bottom of hell from the preserve of worms.
Yeah, it's dangerous out there, so I want a reliable guard.
Mato Shinji does not hide his joy of becoming a master again and spits out words covered with lies.
Yeah, the penis worms are super gross.
Oh, yeah. I hate them a lot.
Well, we're in the grocery street, so we're probably gonna meet Ilya, right?
Hopefully. It's almost 4 o'clock when I get out of the restaurant. I have no business in the shopping district, so all that's left is to go home, but... Mato Zoken. Shinji and Sakura's grandfather, huh? I have a bad feeling about this. I don't feel like going straight home, so I decide to take a detour. Huh? I see Sakura's shoes. Considering the time, I bet Sakura's already back from her club. I'm home. Oh, you're asleep, Sakura? Her club practice must have been tiring, as Sakura's sleeping in the living room. She must be exhausted. She's lying on the floor rather than having her head on the table. Yeah, she was sick, but she went to school and her club, and helped around with my house on top of that. You're working way too hard, Sakura. I go past the living room, trying not to wake her up.
Just left her body on the floor.
And... I bring a blanket from my room. Here, you'll catch cold again if you sleep without a blanket. I carefully drape the blanket over her. Then...
Senpai?
She must be half asleep as Sakura looks up at me with empty eyes. Her gesture is different. It's not the Sakura I know who stands and smiles in the kitchen wearing an apron. Her gesture's more erotic than I've ever seen on her.
Oh no.
I brought a blanket, Sakura.
Is this the coma? Is this
Nervously, I
sexy
try to
coma?
explain myself. At that instant, Sakura's arms wrap around my neck. This is the horny route.
This is definitely the music that we had when we were exploring Rin's Dragon Cave.
Saber's Dragon Cave?
Yeah.
Or, well,
Whatever
unless
it
you're just
was.
saying dragon cave to mean vagina, and then,
Yeah.
then you're right.
This is our exploring women music. I have ascertained, because the last time I heard it, I was like, this is definitely the music. And you're like, I don't know, but like, this is definitely the reoccurring theme here.
His eyes. He's bugging out. Her breath is near me. I'm intensely aware of her femininity, no matter how hard I try to ignore it. Hey, Sakura. I can't breathe or talk properly. Sakura's half asleep. You need only look at her eyes to see that. So I have to shake her off me. I have to get away from her, but... I can't take my eyes off of her. Her hair streams down her neck. Her lips let out a seductive sigh, and her breasts are pushing up her shirt. Having her mature woman's body so close is making me dizzy. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Senpai.
That mature woman's body. How I often refer to people.
Her big titties. You can't say big titties.
Her mature woman's body. Her hands tense up a bit. Our faces near each other. I'm entranced by her lips, unable to resist. My reasoning is frozen. Everything I've prohibited, everything I shouldn't have noticed, such boring senses are being destroyed. Sakura. My heart is pounding. The sound of the pounding heart fills my eardrums. My head empties out and...
Are you home, Shiro?
Ah!
Your mic cut out. I'm so sad.
Oh, bit of peak. That's sad.
Bro, I've been winking a lot today. My eyes are not having a good time. Is this what Jake feels like?
It doesn't just close more.
Can you yell again?
Sorry, neighbor. Ah! I jump back. I display speed and quick-wittedness I've never shown before and land on top of the table.
The transitions today have been premium. That was a wonderful movement, but I do not know about landing on the table.
You're right. I was a bit surprised. I slowly stepped down to the floor.
I can't believe she complimented you.
Sakura's... Her hands are lowered and she's sleeping again.
Shiro, your face is red. Did something happen? Your eyes are wandering. Are you worried about something?
It's nothing. Let's just go to the dojo. Sakura needs sleep, and I want to train with you until dinner.
That is an excellent attitude to take, Shiro. I am well rested and in perfect condition. Let us prepare for tonight's battle.
Saber heads to the dojo without questioning my suspicious behavior.
Saber thinks of sex literally zero.
It's like, oh, sick table jump. Anyway, do you want to go train?
Maybe not the feet on the table, but fantastic.
Oh, I'm saved. I'm glad Saber didn't see us like that, but I'm more glad I didn't do anything on the spur of the moment. If I'd done anything to Sakura while she was half asleep, I would kill myself out of shame.
It's good that you're training, but you have to keep it moderate, Senpai. Jamming a finger is bad enough, but you've almost broken this one.
Oh, please put the bandage on slower, Sakura.
Of course it hurts. It's natural to swell up if you leave such an injury alone. Please give up and consider this a divine punishment.
Sakura tapes up my middle finger. Her movements are quick and accurate. She must get lots of practice treating jam fingers in archery club. She's skillful, but isn't this a bit rough for Sakura?
And you too, Saber-san. Couldn't you have gotten easier if you're stronger than Senpai? Senpai's body is swollen all over. He won't even be able to take a bath tonight. Sakura, I do not mean to contradict you, but that is what Shiro wished for. I merely responded to his request. And Shiro was partly responsible for tonight's injury. He was the one who wished to train, but he was not concentrating at all.
Just want to comment. I don't think this one is Shiro's fault. I think Sakura initiated this one. Shiro fucks up a lot with the horniness. Not giving him this one.
He did pass the vibe check. He waited to make sure that there was consent, and then he got interrupted.
Yeah. Saber glares at me in complaint. I also agree about the medium comment. I think they do really do. Like, having played a lot of these visual novels, most of them don't do the, like, zoomy, flippy transition stuff. Yeah. At least the older ones.
Yeah, like, why the fuck not? We've got it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it's great. There's not much I can say when she puts it like that.
Do you feel sick or something, Senpai? It's not like you to go to the dojo with unclear motivation. Indeed, what was distracting you, Shiro? You were staring into empty space even when you were holding the shinai, and I felt no spirit in your attacks.
Well, that's, You see, Sakura's being sleep horny. The cause is standing right there in front of me, but there's no way I can say that. Just thinking about it makes my heart jump.
Senpai? Does it still hurt somewhere?
Sakura looks at me with worry. No, I'm fine now. I ate too much, so it'll help me out if you can make me some tea. I quickly move my face away from Sakura.
Okay, then I'll go brew some after-meal tea.
Sakura stands up to go to the kitchen. Man. It is really bad for my heart. Her body's engraved in my mind, and I get conscious of her whenever she comes near me.
Are you fine with tea, Saber-san? Yes, please do not make it too hot.
Sakura promptly brews some tea. Her gestures are supposed to be familiar, but I feel like I'm seeing them for the first time. Oh, great, now we got two of these. Damn, why do I keep remembering it? There's something wrong with me, just like Saber said. Just looking at Sakura reminds me of how she looked earlier, and her soft lips. It's shameful.
It'd be like that sometimes.
Sakura's an important underclassman and a family member to me. Don't say that.
Stepsister, what are you doing?
So, why am I now conscious of her like this? Damn it. I know, I really do. Sakura's beautiful. I've been aware of it for quite a while now. But in spite of that, I acted as her senpai. I like Sakura. Having her around became normal for me before I knew it, and I found it to be a great comfort. Step cave dragon. But it's always been a different sort of affection. I've never wanted to embrace Sakura. I knew she was a girl, but I never viewed her as someone of the opposite sex. But now, I'm beginning to think it's not that I never viewed her as a girl, but that I was trying not to view her as a girl.
Senpai? Here's some tea, Senpai.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Sakura.
You're welcome. Thank you for dinner too, senpai.
Sakura smiles happily. Seeing her smile makes me happy as well. It seems she really liked the pork meatloaf with egg and vegetables. Sakura hands the tea to Saber as well and sits down. Saber must enjoy tea as she receives it with satisfaction.
Itadakimasu! But where's Taiga? I have not seen her around for a while.
Huh? Oh, she just called and said she can't make it tonight. I didn't get the details, but she said she had to go visit the hospitals or something.
I see. I wanted to ask her some questions since she is more knowledgeable about your habits. I guess it cannot be helped. I shall wait until next time to strengthen you.
Are you saying yesterday's and today's training were just the beginning?
Of course, the trainings up to now were to teach your body what you were able to do. From now on, we will train you to survive using your special characteristics.
I see. That sounds hard.
Intense would be the word to describe it. Consider your training up to today to be a mere warm-up.
Whoa. Are you serious? I don't know if I should be thankful or not that Fujine isn't coming tonight.
What was that sigh? This is for your own good. Sakura?
Saber looks at Sakura. Huh? I follow her gaze. Hey. Sakura's breathing painfully. Sakura! I run to her and shake her shoulders.
What's wrong, senpai?
It's not what's wrong. You're pushing yourself again. No, she's not. She looks healthy. Her shoulders aren't hot. She's just looking up at me in wonder. Huh? You look like you were in pain.
Oh, you're wrong. I just fell asleep.
Sakura smiles in embarrassment. Just fell asleep standing up.
Don't mind me.
I guess maybe they're sitting actually if they're like drinking tea. It wouldn't like reflect in the sprites necessarily.
Yeah, we sat down in a single run, bro.
Yeah. Don't scare me like that. I thought your cold got worse again.
I'm sorry, I've been sleepy all day and I fall asleep if I let my guard down.
I see. Well, you were sleeping this afternoon too. You can go rest if you're tired. I'll clean up.
Oh, okay, you're right. I'll accept your offer and go rest now.
Sakura bows and exits the living room. She's walking steadily.
Sorry, bro, listen, I've been reading so fast.
She's walking steadily, so I guess she's just short on sleep, like she said.
Like, surely Jake's read this out loud. You know when you're in class and you're reading ahead, and then someone calls on you to read, and you're already like 10 pages farther out, and you're like, fuck, where were we supposed to be?
Digimat, to answer your confusion, I think it's just like, obviously I knew her gender, but I didn't really like think of her as a romantic option. Option's a gross way to say that, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know. Hopefully that cleared it up a little bit without me actually saying anything useful.
You knew she was a girl, but you didn't think of her as a romantic thing. You didn't think of her romantically. You thought of her as a person and acknowledged her, but not as, I can have sex with her.
Right.
Or, I want to have sex with her.
Or she wants to have sex with me, but only if she's really sleepy. Well, she probably wants to all the time, but she acts on it when she's really sleepy.
You're like, girl, can you do this when you're awake, please?
The moon darkens. The clouds, blown by the strong wind, hide the white moon. We go outside, careful not to wake Sakura. It's 11 o'clock. We decide to start patrolling earlier to make up for yesterday. The town has continued to suffer while my guard was down after Castor's defeat. If Castor is still alive and collecting energy from people, I have to defeat her for sure tonight. We descend the hill to the intersection. The question is where to go from here.
Shiro, I feel a servant's presence.
Is it close, Saber?
It should not be a problem distance-wise. Even with your speed, we should be able to catch up to the servant in about 5 minutes. Please give me an order, Master.
Saber's asking me if we should follow them or stay here and keep watch. I don't need to think about it. Let's go. Lead the way, Saber.
We're pretty gung-ho this route.
Yeah, we're really getting shit done this route. Saber starts to run. She heads east. It seems she's heading to the big bridge connecting Miyama City and Shinto. The instant I step into the park, the abnormal presence makes me feel like vomiting. The air is polluted here. The stench of rot and decay seeps into my nose.
That's a good noise.
Thank
Ew.
you.
I kind of threw up in my mouth a little.
I've thrown up recently, so. My gastric juice is regurgitated just by standing here. The discomfort and the dizziness almost break my mind.
Look, Shiro.
I have no idea who this is going to be. I suppress my nausea and look. There.
Oh. Emiya-kun.
Saber. Forgot that I voiced Archer for a second.
I'm gonna do that. Saber. I can't make
Also,
my
you
voice
should
that
win.
deep.
Stand Tosuka and Archer with their backs to us.
New enemies?
You really just turned it up to 11. And I really appreciate that.
Bro, I got a 600-year-old man, bro. I
Yeah.
created something as fucked as lustworms. I'm just gonna sound as creepy as fucking possible.
Absolutely.
He's not gonna sound cool at all. He's gonna sound gross.
And that old man, Mato Zoken. I understand the situation right away. Tosuka's fighting Mato Zoken. I see dozens of something so small that I can't distinguish it around Tosuka. Tosuka's servant Archer has many more around him. It seems Mato Zoken used those things to attack them.
Oh, this is my old man. Alright.
Yep.
Well, if it isn't Saber's master, so you've prepared a backup for Tosuka's daughter, you're surprisingly smart. You're wrong. Archer and I are more than enough to beat a confession out of you. They're just spectators. They have nothing to do with me.
Tosuka keeps glaring at Mato Zoken. But her back is...
What were you thinking coming at a time like this? Do you want to die?
harshly scolding me. How is she doing that?
Shiro.
I know. This isn't the time to be arguing with Tosuka. Just as how Tosuka does not look away from that old man, I'm feeling danger from him. monster said to have survived by sucking people's blood. A descendant of Makiri who tried to obtain the Holy Grail and made Shinji into a master. There's no way such a guy would just stand there and not do anything.
I wanted to keep this hidden, but I guess it cannot be helped. I cannot survive against two servants.
Oh, fucking goddamn it. He makes a sound with his cane.
Okay?
Yeah.
Is it funny?
The instant it strikes the bricks beneath the old man's feet. Oh. Never mind, it's not what I thought was going to happen. Someone we already defeated appears to protect him. Caster? Damn, so she really is still alive.
Please stay back, Shiro. That is Caster, but not Caster. Her appearance and abilities are the same, but I do not feel her will or her soul. That thing is an imitation made from Caster's corpse.
Saber steps forward. In her hand is the invisible sword.
Oh, as expected from Saber. You saw through my trick right away. Oh my, no wonder Shinji's rider was no match for you. Asha should not be matched against you, just like Caster, who is defeated without being able to do anything.
It's like eat shit, dude. I think this is Saber. She pops up right as the dialogue came up.
Okay. Is that all you have to say for yourself? Deceiving us is the least of your crimes. Even though Caster is our enemy, she is our heroic spirit chosen as a servant. You better have an appropriate determination if you are trifling with her corpse. Oh, I only picked up some trash that nobody needed any longer. I do not mind being called a heretic for that, but you would fall lower than a brute if that is the case. You are the greatest servant, after all. Then it is best to make you, rather than this corpse, into my slave. I shall let my worms eat you alive and have you follow this corpse's fate.
You!
Why are you enraged? Servants are merely tools. It does not matter how they are used. It is the same whether you bind them with a command spell or if you use them as a corpse. Then is it not your sake to turn into a mindless puppet?
The two servants charge. Oh, a team-up fight.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
Saber and Archer charge at the
Should I do it again? Yeah.
charge at the laughing monster as if they planned the attack. Two blades slice through Caster. The match was decided from the start. Caster cannot defeat Saber. Even with Mato Zoken's control, that fact hasn't changed. Caster's magic does not reach Saber, and Saber finishes off the enemy she defeated before.
Nani?
Caster's body begins to disintegrate. Saber stands by and watches it until the end. To ensure that it completely disappears. To ensure that her body will not be violated again.
Archer.
It's Tosuka's voice. Mato Zoken has disappeared. He sacrificed Caster in order to make his escape. But that's why Saber took care of Caster. Archer ignored her completely. Pursued the controller and that's it. Cut Mato Zoken's body in half.
Show it, cowards. Yeah.
Zoken's upper body falls to the ground. A dragging sound. Even though blood and entrails are spilling from his bisected body, the old man still lives. Fucking Cladbolg, dude. Blow him the hell up. He crawls across the ground with his arms, trying to get away from Archer. This is the end, Magus. My past experiences have taught me to quickly finish off monsters like you. Archer raises his short sword above Zoken. This is the end. No matter how immortal Zoken may be, he'll die once his head is crushed, and he's almost dead already. It's not like he has self-healing powers like the servants, and his horrific wound is taking him closer to death by the second. But, unwilling to take any chances, Archer kills the magus with his short sword. What? No. He tries to kill Zoken and stops. It's not only Archer who felt it. Everybody here does. Tuska and Saber. Archer and I. Even Zoken, hovering on the edge of death, trembles at its appearance. Oh shit. Darkness covers the park. The damp air freezes in an instant. My heart is beating at a higher pitch, but the rate is slower. Something bad is close by. So I have to run away. I can't concern myself with that thing. My body understands it instinctively, yet it refuses to move. It's meaningless to run away. My body knows that I can't escape. I move my trembling body and turn my numb neck. I look towards the entrance of the park. There stands the shadow. Space is distorted. I want to believe it's just my imagination, a product of the distorted sense of balance caused by extreme tension. I've never seen anything like it. It's insubstantial, as if a shadow suddenly stood up. Its existence is so light that it could be blown away, and yet its presence dominates this place. It lacks intelligence or reason, and it's probably not even alive. The black shadow stands there like a mirage. So...
Oh yeah. The Eye of Sauron.
Right. Why do I find it so familiar?
Probably our old man.
I would guess.
Yeah. Impossible. Oh, fuck, dude.
I hear a hoarse voice. The only one able to speak here happens to be the dying old man.
Impossible, impossible, impossible.
He crawls while screaming. Zoken pulls himself away from Archer and out of the park. It's not that Zoken had that much strength left. It's just that fear of the shadow drove him. Nobody's able to move. Tuska and I stand still, transfixed by fear. Even Saber and Archer seem entranced. It's like a deep sea monster. The shadow sways in the silent world where everything is still. And no, thank you. It shows something like a will for the first time. It lacks eyes, limbs, or a body. Yet it still casts a shadow at its base. Outlined by the moonlight, the shadow begins to stretch and elongate. Like a snake that's found its prey, it points at Tosca and... Oblivious to the change, Tosca doesn't move. Saber's too far away. Archer started running, but he's too far away to make it in time. Oh, is this the fucking shadow talking? No.
It has to be you, right?
That might be me. Yeah, Shadow probably hasn't said anything. Oh! The shadow lashes out. Without showing any sign, the shadow abruptly covers tens of meters and... Suka, watch out! I frantically push Tosuka aside.
Kun!
I can't hear her voice. Oh, maybe I do remember this scene. The instant I push Tosuka away, something engulfs me. A splashing sound and a sensation of something trying to crush my body. Ah. My presentiment wasn't wrong. Presentiment, maybe? Water has come crashing in around me, and I'm now sinking into the sea. But it's hot. This seawater's too hot. Boiling coal tar. It sticks to my skin and cuts off my life. I don't feel like I'm in the sea. Oh. Was that the orphan chamber that flashed?
Mm-hmm.
Ah! Ugh. I feel sick. I feel sick. It's wrong. 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 Rabbit's corpse, one eye missing, rotten, soft and fresh, forced into my mouth. Rabbit's corpse smears my esophagus. A clear sensation of eating a life. Life is life, even if it's rotten. It's real. I can't taste this with cooked food. It feels good. There's no taste, but I'm forced to eat it as long as it's in front of me. A popular place, a big line, a place that'll eat rabbits. There's only one clerk. The line consists of rabbits, lines and lines.
I didn't roll forward at that one. That one wasn't me.
Yeah, that almost makes sense that way.
Kun! Emmy Kun!
Ah! Ah! I wake up. My body's hot. My nausea isn't fading. My head is shaking. I can't even stand up myself.
Are you awake? Can you tell who I am?
She slaps my cheeks.
Sorry.
Spider-Man gif. I can tell. Only Tosuka would slap someone at a time like this.
But I guess you're alright if you can talk back like that.
That was just my honest opinion right now.
You idiot, why are you smiling? I'm not going to thank you, okay? Don't ever do that again. I can't return the favor if you die trying to save me.
She glares at me. But Tosuka's still rubbing my back with one hand, holding my hand the other to check my temperature.
Hot?
Tosuka, what happened to that weird thing?
It disappeared. It vanished when you stepped onto the shadow and fainted. I think it came from over that way.
Tosuka looks southwest and grits her teeth. I see, but I think I was entangled in it for a while.
Really? It hasn't even been 10 seconds since you pushed me. Here's the proof, see? Shiro!
Saber runs up to me.
You acted reckless again.
Saber supports me and pulls me away from Tosuka.
Get away, Archer's master. I shall treat you as an enemy if you come any closer to my master. What? I'm your enemy as well? Of course, you are a master and Archer is with you. I do not know why Shiro protected you, but I cannot let you near my master before my eyes.
Saber glares at Tosuka. Crap, I guess I never told Saber about our current truce. No, you're wrong, Saber. We're at peace right now, so until we defeat Caster...
Shiro, please get yourself together.
I'm saying Tosuka isn't our enemy. I promised her.
Understood. I will not fight her if that is your will.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't talk. anymore. I endure the nausea and the chill that tries to get me unconscious. I have to get home before I faint. I have to stay conscious until then.
So you survived. Oh, sorry. Saber's face is really close. I got a little confused.
I think that's Archer.
Yeah, you got it.
So you survived, huh? Well, you didn't touch the main body, so the most it can do is make you ill. Archer approaches. Archer's expressionless, even though Zoken got away, and he's the only calm one here.
Archer, do you know what that shadow is?
Who knows? But one thing is clear. That shadow's what's been draining the life from the townspeople ever since Castor's death. He answers as if he's not interested. Then Archer looks down at me, lying on the ground. It seems this is no time to pursue personal grudges. Isn't that right, Emiyashiro? What? As for what that shadow was, your intuition's correct. Oh, I'm summoned as a servant, but I'm to fight it after all. Archer, who are you? I see. You're not a guardian yet. Then you must not have fought something like that before. Man. That seems like I'll be doing the same thing no matter where I go. That must have been Saber who asked that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. The Knight in Red beckons Tosaka to go.
I felt like we both understood what we thought made sense.
Right. But right before they leave. No, it's not that hopeless. It has not occurred yet. I might be able to finish it beforehand, or I might end up cleaning after the event. I have a chance of stopping it this time. He looks up at the sky and murmurs these words. Archer's giving off big cable energy in this scene.
Well, you love cable.
It switches off and on. The heat permeates my body. I don't feel like I'm walking. Is it because someone told me this is like a disease? It feels like plagued maggots are filling my whole body.
Senpai.
I can't tell dream and reality apart. I feel like I'm already asleep and trying to go back to my room.
Sakura, were you not asleep? Please move aside. He'll hurt Senpai if you hold him like that. No, this is my duty, and if this is a disease, you might get infected as well. I'm not talking about that. Saber-san, I don't know what you two are doing. I knew you wouldn't answer me even if I asked, so I never did. But Senpai has seemed troubled ever since you came here. I could still bear that, but tonight you've brought him home injured. Sakura, that is... I don't know what your circumstances are, but isn't there a better way to go about this? If you can't, please at least resolve your problems without involving Senpai.
I return to my room. It feels like someone's next to me, putting me to sleep. A voice is whispering in my ear, but I can't make out the words. Did it apologize? It's my fault? Did it apologize? I'm sorry? Whatever the words are, they're the last thing I hear. My consciousness fades as soon as I lie down. The scene keeps squirming like insects until the very end. Oh, it's just
Just a
some
random lady.
random. Yeah, I think so.
See?
Random,
Don't be late.
random drunk lady. She slurs her words as she sees off her friends. There's
Yeah.
no one around, and the rotary's completely still. Did her friend get the last taxi, or are they just avoiding this place for some reason? The station, which used to be filled with light and people, is now just a group of lifeless buildings.
I guess there are days like this.
She heads home, still slightly drunk. It doesn't matter if there's no taxi if the last train is out. Her apartment's close by. Her friends live 3 stations away, so she always walks home by herself after seeing them off. The rotary's quiet, even though it's still before midnight, and she starts home like always. So, when did it turn into something that's not like always? The desolate town, the pitch black back alleys, the chill emanating from the dark shadows. Formless unease assails her.
Hey, is someone there?
She turns around. The only thing following her is her cold and silent silhouette.
Hate that.
I don't know if this lady's gonna survive this.
Well, for sure not.
She walks faster. Staying here is dangerous. She doesn't believe she's overthinking. Nobody's following her. First of all, she doesn't have the sense to realize that even if she is in danger, she's only human after all.
Hey, what's this?
But she can't stop shivering. The unpleasant presence gets stronger. This is just like the time she woke up at night as a child. She would wake up to go to the bathroom but would sense someone crouching in the corner. Instead of moving, she'd pretend to be asleep until morning came. This unease is how she felt then, as if the whole world has abandoned her. She's running now. She's not taking her usual route home. The road in front of her is dangerous. The roads she usually takes home are all dark. Instinctively seeking the safest way, she's running before she knows it. When did the quick trot turn into an all-out dash? She understands that it's silly to be scared of something she can't see, but she's unable to stop herself. She runs like a dog. Her throat is dry, but strangely she isn't sweating. The town at night. The series of accidents with unknown causes. Desperately, she tells herself that it's not the work of a serial killer. There's no one around. The night of all nights, the place is empty. Is that why this seems like it's happening to somebody else? The familiar town's like an imitation in a mirror that'll never find her.
Huh?
And she arrives at the final destination.
That's strange. Why?
Did she come to this place?
What am I doing?
Something's very funny. Something's funny, so sounds of laughter come from her throat as if from someone else. She's merely running. Her usual route home seemed too dangerous. So she ran along the roads that felt safer to her, and finally, she realizes there is no place to run. Some appear from between the grasses. Some fall down from the tree branches. The first one drops on her right eye, and oh god. It uses the snout larger than her eyeballs to crawl into her eye socket.
Hate that.
The scream is not heard.
Oh, good.
She crumples to the ground. Pain shoots through her heels. It hurts. It hurts as if they've been chopped off with an axe. Since that's impossible, she tries to move her toes, only to find that she can't feel them.
You got no
In its
toes.
place, many new things enter her body from the cut heel. She tries to see what they are with her remaining left eye. She cannot see what they are anymore.
I hate that.
Indescribable horrors swarm over her body.
It's eating!
Her mind somehow doesn't see what they're eating. The worms dive in. When she was small, she once saw maggots swarming on a sponge.
Ew.
This is just like that. Although inchworms chewing through an apple might be a more apt comparison.
It's not weird.
The realistic image and the scene before her do not seem related. Because such things cannot be. Such things cannot be happening to her. It's almost midnight. She has to hurry home, ready the bath. Ouch, laugh off all the fatigue. That hurts. Let her hair dry. It hurts. Watch some videos. Return to her room. It hurts. She wants to return to her room. Return. Please, please stop. Say up till 3 o'clock. It really hurts. Anything. Please stop. Please stop. It hurts. Wake up with an alarm clock. Go back. It hurts. Go to work. Go back.
So I want to go back to work, back to my room, go back. I want to go back, but go away. No, stop. Stop. Please take me back to my room. Please. Please, no. Why are you eating me?
The meal ends in under 5 minutes. It was too gruesome a scene to be called a meal, but if one defines having a meal as absorbing nourishment, then this was certainly a meal. Weird technicality.
Mm-mm.
The lying body stands up. The female body is turned into an old man's body.
I can never get used to this.
Oh, Jesus Christ. A hoarse voice echoes through the park. The worms have disappeared.
Gross.
They have finished their meal and have returned to their nest, the old man's body. In other words, they replaced the woman's body, the one they fed on. Someone else is watching the spectacle. Between the crisscrossing tree branches, a white mask is floating. The mask made from human skull is smiling like a buffoon. The owner of the mask doesn't even need to be mentioned. It's the seventh servant, the one born from within the fake servant. He's the heroic spirit who defeated Lancer, assassin. Impressive. No. It's so weird.
He made him sound so normal.
It's so weird because he doesn't have like an ultra deep voice. But it's like, I don't know.
You can
Impressive.
do it.
So your previous body was not your own either.
Sound like Archer.
Yeah, that's just the Archer voice. Fuck.
Oh, are you watching, Assassin? Yes, my body has perished a long time ago. I am just an old fool who has to leech off of a whole body. My body cannot handle walking under the sun like everyone else's.
The laughing figure is indeed Zoken. It took him a few minutes to attack and take over a woman's body. The speed is incredible, even for a Master Magus. I go super deep. I don't know what to do.
Well, just give him your Cahulan voice.
The, like, really, like, gravelly, loud, boisterous voice?
Okay, maybe not that one.
I think about just, like, putting my hand over my mouth and doing, like, a masked thing. Oh, see, no. No.
So, yeah, it's if you do a Bane voice.
I see. So you did not care who it was.
God.
Yeah. I can't. I don't know what assassin sounds like. Ah.
Give him a generic man voice that doesn't sound like yours.
That's so much easier said than done.
Yeah, you're doing great. You know how many lady voices I have to have? It's hard.
It's easy to do extremes. It's hard to do, like,
Okay, yeah, minimal changes.
just voice. Yeah.
Just take your voice and then a little bit. Make it really quiet. That'll make it easier.
I see.
But not,
So you
but not sexy.
not like sexy, right?
You're just
No, but my whole strategy for sexy is just quiet.
just make it softer without being deeper.
I see. So you did not care who it was. All you require is a full body, no matter whose it may be. You merely mold the body to the shape you want. What's inside your body are worms in any case. The worms will function as your organs. It is indeed a mimicry.
Oh my, in only one day you have grown quite talkative. Do you remember your wish now?
Of course. I can only be summoned by people who share my desire. Your craving for eternal life has summoned me here. What I wish for is eternity. But... The Black Shadow wavers. The emotionless skull stares at the aged Magus. This raises a question. You are already immortal. You have lived for over 5 centuries. Then, is your wish not already granted? The old Magus lets out a cry. Who would know that the cry is not a laugh, but a cry of anger? Yes, Zoken is almost immortal. He will live as long as there are bodies to infest and his soul remains alive. But there's only pain. Zoken does not wear his current form by choice. Turning his body into something inhuman and mimicking human form. There's a limit to this magic. It's like a machine. A machine can run forever in theory, but its parts rust over time. Parts rust, cogwheels slide out of place, programs become obsolete.
No, I am not a mortal assassin. My body rots. It will rot no matter how many times I get a new body. It will rot no matter what I do. This new body has begun to rot already. Can you begin to understand the discomfort and disgrace of rotting alive? The despair upon learning that your body is not human?
Why does it rot? Are the worms not able to make a proper body?
That is not true. The worms are lively. They have no problem as a body. From the start, I became a parasite in grief over my aging body. They serve perfectly as a body. I chose this method to prolong my life forever while retaining my humility.
I'm even more confused. Is that all you can manage? Even with the power to perfectly preserve your body? First of all, why are you taking the form of an old man? If you're able to shape the flesh into any form, you should be able to take any appearance.
That is a good question. Let me ask you. Let's say something that lost its original body tries to reproduce its body with its powers. In that case, what do you think restores the body to its original form?
The body records itself. Even after it is burned or cut, the body's able to restore its original appearance because there's an internal blueprint.
Yes, a body's composition is recorded in its genes, but it is different in my case. I lost my body, the place where my composition was recorded. I can no longer use that blueprint to recreate my body. In that case, what do you think records my body and gives it form?
It's obvious. The soul. It is not the law of the physical world, but something of the higher order, the record of all the bodies within the concept of the astral world. Yes, if one has the soul, one should be able to reconstruct their body even if the original body and genes have been lost. So in other words, this old magus is... I see. You keep your soul alive while taking the bodies of other creatures as your own. So that is the trick behind your immortality. That must be why you cannot turn yourself into anything else. What you are keeping alive is your soul, not your body. So that is why you cannot take any other form but that of Zoken.
Of course, I'm not taking form as an old man because I want to, but this is the only form I can create, and it is a poor creation that rots away unless I exchange it periodically. I used to be able to last 50 years before I had to exchange my body, but I have to exchange it every few months now. Who can understand the pain I feel as I rot away? Do not misunderstand. Assassin of this generation, do not call such a thing immortality.
Irritation can be heard in the voice of the old magus. It has been 3 days since Assassin's summoning. He finally sees the true nature of his summoner. I understand now. So what is rotting is not your body, but...
Yes, my soul is rotting. Time even affects ethereal bodies, therefore my physical body will rot. It is natural for my body to rot, if not my soul. Oh, if my soul, the blueprint of my body, is rotten.
So that is why you seek the Holy Grail. No wonder you are angry. Such eternity must be more painful to you than those who have no idea of eternity.
Exactly. My body rots. I need to be freed from this pain, from this poison violating deep into my bones.
My bones!
The Holy Grail exists for that purpose. I have perished for that purpose. Right, I do not want to die. I want to live. It is dreadful to think that I will disappear from this world. To escape this fate, I have lived for hundreds of years, devouring the flesh of thousands. Do you understand, Master of the Mountain? I hate myself for turning myself into worms. I hate being the only one who rots away. I hate all humans for being given bodies as a matter of course.
White Mask looks down at the rotting old man. How can he say he hates humans that live peacefully? It was his spell used to escape that peaceful life that gave him this pain. The unending torment of this magus, the decay that melts his bones and flesh, is the result of his own action. But the pain overrides such trivial matters as blame.
Why, if it's the consequences of my own actions?
It's the guy on the bike and he sticks the stick in the smoke and he falls over. He's like, peaceful humans! It must not matter who is evil or what the cause is. Because this is just a speculation, but Zoken must be insane already. The pain and fear of experiencing one's own decomposition must be unbearable for normal human beings. Nobody should be able to endure it, no matter how strong their mind may be. Because one will die. The body dies if it rots for over an hour. But 200 years? Only this old magus would understand how rotten the mind is of somebody who has his body rotting away. Zoken has gone insane. No matter his mental state, if there's nobody in the world who can identify with him, he'll be labeled insane. A centuries-old obsession, I cannot understand, but... The old man's monologue can be summarized in one sentence. He does not want to die. He does not want to die. In short, he does not want to die. It is merely that a wish anyone would have became clear for this man. He sacrificed many people clinging to the simple yet foolish wish. He prepared many things and sacrificed people to obtain the Holy Grail. No. This old mage's very existence is made possible by those sacrifices. That is reason enough for the masked assassin to pledge his loyalty. I do not understand, but you are appropriate to be my master. Very well. Let us both aim for eternity, as we are both beings who are not treated as human. The skull waits. The servant in a black coat bows to the rotting old magus.
You guys like my old man voice?